I've been interested in engineering for, I feel like the majority of my life. Like a lot of little kids, I enjoyed playing with Legos and I enjoyed building stuff. As I got older, that took on more of a problem-solving route, and I really enjoyed being able to see problems and to invent solutions for them. In fact, for a while, I thought my job title was going to be an inventor, but then I realized that that's not a super-duper feasible thing, and so I went with engineering instead. After my first intro to engineering class, we did some stuff with circuits, and I'm like, man, that's really cool, and I want to do that in addition to the mechanical stuff. I chose to study here at Purdue in New Albany because it's super close to home, yet I get the full force that comes behind a Boilermaker degree. I get to save money, I get to work in local industry, and all while still getting that same valued Purdue education. Here on campus we have a club called the Society of Manufacturing Engineers. I joined the club as a freshman, and they do things like facility tours, and we call them boiler builds, where we get together and we make something and get to learn like a small, more hands-on engineering concept. Then toward the end of my freshman year, I was elected as vice president of the club. And so I got to see the inner workings, and I got to help run some of the boiler builds. Starting in my sophomore year, I was elected as the president of the club and been able to help lead some of the events since then. When I graduate, I'm not entirely sure where I want to end up or what industry I want to end up in. But for the time being, I've been able to make lots of connections with local industries. I currently work as a co-op for a local company, been able to make connections to them. Through the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, I've been able to make several connections and get to talk with people in several different industries. The plan is for me to right now work part-time while in school, and then in the summers work full-time. All of the faculty here at Purdue New Albany, they're all extremely helpful. I've often gone to some of our mechanical engineering professors and asked them a question. So one time I was driving down the road in my truck, and I had my hand out the window, and I was kind of noticing how it flowed through the air and everything. And I was trying to put math to that because we'd been learning about forces and things in our statics class. And I wasn't able to do it as well as I would have liked. So I went to my professor and I was like, hey, this is what I've come up with. I don't think it's right. Can you help me? And so he took the time to draw it out on the whiteboard and kind of explain what was going on. And so whether it's questions about stuff outside the classroom or questions about stuff inside the classroom, they've all been extremely helpful. On the MET side of things, like Professor Damon Sisk is one I can always go to with inside or outside the classroom questions. Professor Rustin Webster has been really helpful from trying to connect with local industry perspective. That's been very helpful. The most complicated or excited project I've worked on has been the CAD class catapult. So during the second semester of your freshman year, all the students are tasked to fully 3D model and manufacture and test a working catapult that can play cornhole. It's neat because it's a fun project and you get to have some laughs with it, and you get to end up eventually competing with your catapult, which everybody loves a little bit of competition. The really cool part for me comes from actually having to design it and then document all your designs and then put all those designs into drawings. That has been extremely helpful as I've stepped into industry and worked on CAD and stuff in the industry. Thus far, I think some of the big skills that all of the classes really hit on is problem solving. And so while you do learn a lot of math and you learn a decent bit of theory, all of that is just tailored to help you solve problems, help you diagnose things and take a look at this. Okay, why is this doing this? That's not what I want it to do. How do I change that so I can make it do what I want it to do? All of those things I feel like are probably the biggest skill that I've learned so far. I feel like here the community is really good. I feel like you're able to make a lot of connections with your classmates, and you can definitely see that. So the freshman class I started with, I pretty much know everybody's name in the class, and pretty much everyone in the class is willing to help each other out, especially if there's a difficult homework problem or something. People will sit down and work through those together. Through the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, there's events and things that we do with that help, I feel like, really bolster community. And even outside of just the specific class that I came in with, I feel like I've been able to connect with upperclassmen, seniors, and juniors. And then with this incoming wave of freshmen, I feel like I've been able to connect with them as well. Advice for students coming to Purdue Polytechnic here in New Albany, or really any engineering discipline for that matter, is just to be ready to have your intuition sharpened. And you're going to learn some things that don't make complete sense at first, but you got to stick with it, and you got to kind of internalize it a little bit. And then once you do, that'll grow your problem solving and your technical skills.